back to another update here. I am currently in Fort Worth, Texas. My bike trip has been completed, but it's been quite an ordeal just to get home from California, and the train is coming. I might be able to get across in time. But yeah, it's been an ordeal. Been an ordeal getting home so far. Back to the East Coast from California. Ordeal because Amtrak, for one, charged me extra for the weight of my bags, and for the bicycle. On the first leg was okay from Oceanside to Los Angeles. On Amtrak, I got everything on the train, no problem. And then when I got to Los Angeles, I had a 5-hour layover there in the afternoon. The train didn't leave there till 10 p.m. and they claimed the bag was too heavy. It weighed 70 pounds. With all my gear, just under 70 pounds they weighed it. It's supposed to be 50 or less. So I had to bring it on to the train. It's a huge bag. And then the bicycle, no problem getting the bicycle on there. They took it, put it on the baggage car. And the train ride in itself from there to Fort Worth, Texas, was nice. I enjoyed the train ride itself. Stayed in the observation car. Looked at the scenery. But then things went downhill when I got to Fort Worth. The last leg to Oklahoma City, they wouldn't allow the bicycle on the train. I was stuck in Fort Worth. Basically, I had the choice of either leaving the bicycle behind I was supposed to get picked up in Oklahoma City, and I'm still here in Fort Worth. She is coming to pick me up, hasn't gotten here yet. So I ended up having to get a room in an extremely bad neighborhood in Fort Worth. I had to put together my trailer, or at least put the wheels back on, put the bag on it, ride it through a terrible neighborhood, through the east side of Fort Worth, homeless people everywhere. I finally got to the room, and they wouldn't let me take the bike in the room. My girlfriend had to get on the phone with them and finally convince the guy to let me take the bike in the room. She was coming to get me. She still hasn't gotten here yet. She didn't leave till 10 p.m. from Oklahoma at 10 p.m. last night, still not here. Hit a deer on the way. Thankfully, the vehicle wasn't too badly damaged. It sounds still drivable, just bumper cracked, it sounds like. But the room is in an extremely bad part of town. Motel is. That pretty much. Hopefully today I'll be on the road heading back to the East Coast once she gets here. Well, yeah, if the guy had not allowed me to take the bike in the room, I would have been stuck at sundown in a very bad part of town. Would have been forced to have to get back on the bike, put the trailer back, to attach it again, and try to ride out of this neighborhood to another motel somewhere. It would not have been pleasant. So getting into the climate, what this channel focuses on, truth about climate trends. I have a lifetime of experience in studying climate, weather, and I had predicted a no-show season this year, the tropical Atlantic especially, but globally. Yeah, we do have one hurricane, the Pacific, that is threatening Hawaii when I last checked. Pacific apparently still has not reached the threshold I've been talking about, where no more storms had formed naturally. Well, I think it's naturally already everywhere, but there's still just enough heat in the Pacific, I feel, to feel maybe a few more of these storms. But on the Atlantic side, unless the sun puts out some serious flares, which has not really happened. There wasn't them 2 weeks ago, but solar activity is on the decline. The 11-year peak has been reached. We're going to be heading toward the next minimum soon in the 11-year cycle, and possibly a longer-term shutdown of the sun, as I've talked about. Shutdown in the sense of a prolonged period of lesser solar activity, or even more serious. What it is about these people stepping on their accelerators, making more noise with their vehicles, as I'm trying to talk, but the sun is not in a trend that favors increased tropical weather activity. The sun is in a long-term decline in activity right now. And tropical systems form from an excess of heat in the water, especially. These storms draw the heat out of the water and transport it to the poles. The reason why these storms form is there's an excess of heat. And we're used to that being the norm because we've been in a warmer climate. Really, that's not the norm. These storms form due to an imbalance of heat. So they're not really the norm. They really, in the long term, talking about modern times, it's been the norm to see hurricanes every year because there's always been an excess of heat, because the sun has been in an active phase. And since the Maunder minimum, the sun overall has been more active. Maunder minimum happened back in the 1600s, where decades of low solar activity caused a decline in global temperatures. So I've been predicting a no-show season this year. No-show meaning few, if any, storms. Tropical systems. And we're going into the middle of September. There's nothing going on in the Atlantic right now. There was talk of a system, but that fizzled. So we're at the peak of the tropical weather season, and there's nothing going on in the Atlantic at all. We got one in the Pacific, which was manufactured as well, I feel. So that threshold I've been talking about in the Atlantic, we're close on the Atlantic side to getting no more storms. Once that threshold is crossed, we are going to have years, possibly even decades of no storms. They're going to wonder what happened. There was a comment today I saw on a Facebook page that was talking about why there's so much dry air inhibiting these storms in the Atlantic this year. They were wondering if the water's so warm, so much warmer than average, then why are we not getting any? Well, my take on that is we're not getting any storms in the Atlantic because the energy isn't there for it. We're getting lied to about water temperatures. I don't understand how people can't make that connection, or how they think these people don't realize they're getting lied to on the data about temperature anomalies of the oceans. Because if the water was really so warm, so much warmer than average, we'd be getting the storms. We're not getting them. So what does that mean? Well, that means we're being lied to about a lot of stuff that people are taking as the truth isn't really the truth about temperature anomalies, the water temperature anomalies. We're getting lied to about so many things because they want to hide the decline in global temperatures. They want to hide the decline in ocean temperatures. Like La Nina, you look at their maps, it shows the equator just barely below average and everybody else burning up. To me, that makes no sense. If the La Nina is going on, there's cold water temperatures along the equator that likely is cold water anomalies elsewhere. It wouldn't just be in that one little part of the earth that would have a law of physics. I mean, it's the same thing if the U.S. is having a freezing cold winter. You'll look at their anomaly map and see that it seems like winter is picking on the U.S., like globally, like everywhere else is burning hot. And the U.S. is the only place in the world that's freezing. Physics does not support that. But the truth is, we're not getting any storms because the temperature anomalies in the Atlantic are below average. They have to be, or we'd be getting storms like we normally do. They have to be well below average for water temperatures in order for there not to be any storms, or what tropical waves are there fizzle out. They're fizzling out because there's no energy there to fuel them. And they blame it on dry Saharan air. Well, why is the air so dry there? Because the subtropical high is sitting there where it normally is further north. It's sitting over the area where these storms normally develop now. It's sitting further south than it usually is in September. That is why the air is so dry. It's sinking. It's sinking because the subtropical high is sitting there, where it normally is several hundred more miles north of there. It's sitting over that region. That's why the air is dry. High pressure, dry air. So the subtropical high is sitting several hundred miles further south than it normally is at this time of year. That's another reason we're not getting any systems. And why is that the case? Because of lower solar activity, cooler global temperatures. The Atlantic has almost reached the threshold, I feel, where they're not even going to be able to manufacture storms anymore. There's so much heat taken out now that we may have reached that threshold. I'm not sure. It will take a couple of years for it to be apparent if we have reached it or not. Threshold meaning we're not going to get any more storms, tropical systems, because the heat is balanced now. There's no longer any excess heat in that region, meaning we can't get any more storms. So that is going to be it. Hopefully I will be back home, or at least be heading home later today. I'll be back soon.